If you've followed the haunts of Brisbane for a while now, you might be aware that we've been around through a couple of different guises for almost 22 years. Officially, we began our foray into the paranormal all the way back in the early months of 1998, triggered through a number of unusual experiences shared between a group of friends at a university share house. Those experiences led to the formation of the Brisbane Ghost Hunters, the first incarnation of what would in time evolve into the haunts of Brisbane. During the early years, we investigated a number of allegedly haunted locations around Brisbane on the back of interviews conducted with local residents who'd experienced unusual events firsthand. The audio was rough and raw, captured on an old microcassette recorder with a basic built-in microphone. However, the content is an irreplaceable record of some of Brisbane's paranormal happenings from 2 decades ago. The following file comprises one of those early Brisbane Ghost Hunter interviews. The following interview was conducted on the 6th of October 1998, recounting alleged paranormal occurrences experienced by a group of friends in a South Brisbane house a decade earlier. The house in question existed in a residential block at Dutton Park, bounded by Annerley Road, Gladstone Road and Grantham Street. In recent months, as part of the new Inner City South State Secondary College, this area has been completely cleared to make way for the development. However, according to the Queensland Government's Education Department website, 14 houses that existed within the area were removed to a holding yard in preference of demolition. A future EOI process will determine the sale and new ownership of these houses, including the one detailed in the following interview, before they likely end up in new locations across Brisbane. But whether the ghosts will follow or choose to remain on site at the new school is anyone's guess.
We only just moved down, my brother and myself, from Townsville, and we're just looking for a place. And the setup was it's a big old Queenslander that has a long hallway running down it, and all the rooms coming off the hallway. And all they did was seal the doors up on one side and make that a unit, and the other side another unit. So my brother and I were living in the smaller third, and these characters were living next door, and they were always in trouble with the police and things like that. So they just skipped one night. They just bolted and left the place. And then we had some friends who said, "Oh, we wouldn't mind seeing inside because we'd like to rent it." So it was all still open and everything like that. I think the back door was closed, so I climbed in through one of the side windows, which was all open. The lights were still on and everything. So the way it runs is there's a large room across the back, which is the lounge area, and then the kitchen comes off that, and then the hallway comes off the kitchen. And then off to the side are 2 fairly large bedrooms, and then at the very front of the house is what would have been sunrooms, but one side was turned into a bedroom and the other side was left open. And what people had done is put a wardrobe in one corner and just opened the door completely, and that created the divide between the 2 rooms. So we left the light on at the end of the hallway in the lounge room area. There was about 6 of us, and we were all walking around. And we'd all come down, had a look at the front, and I was staying in the front bedroom with a friend of mine, Adrian, who said, "Oh, I quite like this room, this is probably the one I'm going to get." And everyone had left us and gone up, so it was dim, but it was lit enough for us to see. So we were just looking there, and as I spun around, I caught what I thought was an after image of someone until I focused on it, and it was actually a little girl, and she was in a sundress. I remember she was quite translucent, and she just had a surprised look on her face, like she was following us around just to be part of the group, and she got a fright herself, got a surprise of being caught, and she ran out the doorway of the bedroom and across the hall. And as I spun around, my friend had gone, so by this time I'm thinking, shit, everyone's gone, everyone's buggered off and left me. And he came from behind the wardrobe on the other side of the hallway to create the other room. He said, "Did you see that?" And what he'd done is he chased her around behind the hallway, behind the wardrobe, and she disappeared as she got around behind the wardrobe. And if he hadn't been there, I probably would have thought it was just tricks of the light, but because he'd seen her and chased her, then I felt that, okay, I'm justified in thinking I've seen a little girl. And he described her to me before I said anything. Did you see the little girl? And it was just amazing. Oh my God. So eventually my friends did move in, and my brother spent a lot of time over there. I moved back to Townsville for a job, but in the months that followed, they said, one guy in particular, John, said he'd be in the house just by himself, and there's no one next door because my brother was a roadie, so he'd be out with bands on the road. And he'd hear footsteps, and he'd walk up, and there's no one there. And he heard that, say, 3 or 4 times in the few months that we lived there, and then everyone just sort of scattered. That's about it. Just long hair. Long hair, wasn't anything done with it, but it was definitely an old style sundress. Like I said, I didn't catch a whole lot. I knew she did definitely look like a girl, and it was definitely a long dress. Might have been a nightshirt or something like that, but it was long. I don't remember the sleeves, but I do remember. And in fact, she was very sort of very pale and very translucent, so there wasn't a whole lot of detail to be seen. But I did notice her face quite strongly. She was a little blonde girl, and her face was just registering surprise. And then she turned away and ran off. He was sort of facing me, and he was facing me, and I was between him and the girl. So as I spun around to leave the room, basically, he said, "Oh, this is great." Turned around and leave the room. I must have then got out of his field of vision, so that he could see her. And he was in a position to take off. Like I was already sort of in the turn, and he was in a position to take off immediately and follow her. So yeah. I thought it was how, like a light burn, you see something and you turn away. It was almost as if someone was behind me and left their image behind, but the image stayed a lot longer, and then I could see its face. It was like an after. The first thought into my head was, oh, that's the girl that was with us, because it was about the same height. She was only a short girl. And then I sort of focused. This friend of mine who I thought it was had long, curly, dark hair, and this obviously wasn't her because it was long, straight blonde. And yeah, I thought it was an after image, and then I sort of focused on what it really was, and I spun around to get Adrian and say, "Oh my God, did you see this?" And then he was gone in the time that I turned around to chase her out the door. Just shock. Yeah. Why I said it was like she was following us, it was like there was no ill intent. It was just like, there's a whole bunch of people, she was just being part of the crowd. Because we'd all come down in a group and then spread out. It was like she was just following us around. And the fact that I'd spun quite quickly, it was like, okay, we're done now, let's get out of here. Because I didn't particularly want to get caught in a house that had no one in it, that had been watched by the police and everything, so I thought, no, it's probably best to get away. And the fact that she was so surprised, or the look on her face was surprise, that made me think she was just like following us around. And I know I'd caught her by turning so quickly, I'd caught her. This would have been 1990, something like that. It was dark, which is why we needed the lights. Probably about 8 o'clock at night. Because that's how I figured, it's pretty safe for me to climb through this window because no one's going to be really looking. The lights weren't on at the time. The electricity was outside. I jumped in through the window, turned the lights on in the kitchen, and that was enough to sort of spread down the hallway for everyone to sort of just see what was going on. I'm not real good about ages. He looked about 4 foot tall, so 8, 10, something like that. Only young, definitely not a teenager, but not a toddler. She was in that bracket. Yeah, but no malice, nothing really bad, no bad feelings, no raising hairs, goosebumps, anything like that. It's just, yeah. No one ever saw her again, they just heard her. They heard footsteps. Scott had heard footsteps, and this friend of mine, John, had heard footsteps. There was a time when my brother and my friend were both just sitting watching TV, and they heard footsteps at the front of the house. And it always seemed to be, actually, now that I think about it, the front of the house. Because the TV and everything was at the back of the house. And where we saw her everything was at the front. And it was always down the hallway. Something was always down the hallway, so that seemed to be where she was last. Not really. Like I said, I don't think I'm particularly sensitive to it. Because I didn't feel a presence. I didn't turn to see something. It was just blind luck, I think, that I caught it. So I don't think I'm particularly open to anybody that's trying to send a message. Like a lot of people tell me they can see their guardian spirit or they can sleep, get told all this sort of stuff, and yeah, I've never seen anything since like it. But yeah, before then you kind of like to believe that spirits are real, but after that I definitely believed it. So it wasn't like a off to one side or maybe there was something there. It was definitely something in front of me, and yeah, she was definitely real. Tiny little feet. That's what they said. That's why they thought, because everyone who was living in the place there was 4 guys and 1 girl, and the girl wasn't a tiny thing, so they definitely knew it wasn't anyone else's footsteps that was supposed to be in the house or living in the house. And they just, I think, just because it was quite like little feet, always down the end of the hall, so it's like, okay, little girl's up and about again. I think they just got a sense that it's the little girl. She's doing something. No. I don't particularly approve of like contact, like forced contact or Ouija boards or things like that. John, some of the other people who lived in there did eventually played around with Ouija boards, but not at that site. I just think, no, you let them come to you. I don't want to try and force contact. It looked like it was in pieces, to be quite honest. Polished floors, so it was back when the floorboards were still good and wide, and the bits and pieces that, because we had a modern bathroom, but the rest of the place was old, and it had old fittings and stuff like that. So yeah, it wasn't a 50s or something like that, maybe a little bit earlier. They probably lived there only about 5 months after I left, and in that time there's about 3 or 4 occasions where they heard it. So once when John was by himself, once when John was with my brother, and yeah, it all seemed to be John actually, and so I don't know whether it was because he was more there by himself or what, but he always seemed to be the one that heard it. Yeah, well, it wasn't scary, it wasn't frightening, and everyone we told about it didn't get scared of the place, so there wasn't a bad feeling out, and yeah,